to throw. Williams. He's getting to complete to Butler. That's good for a gain of 6. That's going to bring on 7 and 10. That was a nicely run slam. What the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off usually after about 3 or 4 steps and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target. Trying to feed it in the line on its interceptor. It's so that changes things. You get the interception, and it's a really good return to Donovan. And it was down to him versus the quarterback on the return. And not too long you would think the defender would win, but a nice job there of seeing the play to the end and making the tackle by the QB. Second drive coming up here for Cleveland as they return to the field on offense. Following the interception, they're set up nicely here, already inside the red zone, knocking on the door, if you will. 1st and 10. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Sanders to throw. It's Dipster. He drop him. Defensive partner, the most defenses guard the 35-yard line actively because they think the way kickers are nowadays, about a 52-yard field goal, they're kind of giving up points. But if you get even deeper into territory, you get into the red zone, they're going to guard it even more, which means more pressure, more blitzing. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Now Sanders. This will be a from the 20 to the 15. I'm going to see another pinching touch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense. From the deep Sanders. He gets this. It's how teams are so competitive in the match, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. Right here, the difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made. Yeah, you know, he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. Let's get here. Let's go. Into a 3-0 lead. So the interception set up a terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result. We can make this one pretty simple, but you want that drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there. The kickoff team on the field as they will send this one away. Get this across the 20, much further as he's directed to 23-yard line. Check out their way to come to the field here for their 2nd drive of the game. The 2nd drive of the ballgame, Charles. Remember last time they threw the interception, but the defense a little bit didn't break, only giving up the 3 points. Yeah, obviously they left some points on the table there the last time out. Oh boy, that's a thank their defense for holding the opposition just 3 after they threw the pick. Good turn now. Back in on the field. To give her a good job to get some points of it. And I didn't get the opportunity. I didn't complete. Just getting down forever, but there wasn't anything available until the incompletion, and I think he'll take that. Now 2nd and 10. To the air, Williams. To the front, that's continuing to his left. He's able to ship the Lindsay out there to get away from there. yards. Now it's third and 5. And that's all the recognition right there because he's going to go from that first mode to pursue mode. The defensive line coaches like to call retracing, and he's able to retreat and make the tackle for just a short gain. Okay, going Rams. Let's go down. I just want to tell the story of this game, but you absolutely have to like how this defense is playing thus far. They have yet to allow this offense to get on track to this one. There goes the Bears punt on. As he's on the punt for the first time tonight. They're catch 7-4 and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Browns will take over first and 10. Looking to put a drive together. Now, if I match materializing there on the first and that's it. That's a pretty good job defensively to the 2-yard run, but I've got to think this offensive line, they're asking their quarterback for a different type of a run, one that they rely on, one they have confidence in, one they feel like they can block. So throw the Senators. 13 yards to pick up there. Good for Cleveland first. And this pass rush has really been bringing the heat. Has already gotten home a few times here in the first half. So how about the play call there? Sometimes if you can't protect, you got to pull. Screen passes like that take a little steam out of what's been a relentless rush so far. Give it to the Jenkins. This is super football girls and Temple's daughter and the 58. Let's say the yards combined on those last two players. First and 10, 38-yard line. They came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter. Play action and then shoot in them. Big yardage, another nice game there. This one goes for 20. Another nice play there. They're getting down into the red zone in no time. That's what this offense can do when they get on a roll. And now they're set up for the coasting team. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. On to the second from Cleveland. It's the Browns in control of the football. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another first and 10. Keep it keep it with second down. The lead option play. When we talk about responsibilities, we're talking about what the quarterback has to go through. The inside linebacker, his job on this play, shadow the quarterback and hold him to a short game. Did it to perfection. They'll come up 2nd and 7. Here's Jones. Shoot the position just for the offense. Bring it to a 54. It's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone. So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and have the ability to run it in through, go play action and take your shot at the end zone. That was the game. Hands in our hurry. And there was a quick little completion, got the job done for a first down. From the floor, get to the two. They'll get two out of the one, and it's going to bring up a second and goal. Well, looking at this now, you got a couple more cracks here. If they're this close, sneaking.
I don't think even go into a huddle. Just line up, snap it, and fall in behind those guys into the end zone.
Sometimes you have those build up becoming out the report like they're eligible. All they're doing is getting a good stance, blocking, and getting the runner across the goal line. Now the extra point try forthcoming. It's a good still lead the teams in. That's always very good. It's got only down 2 yards touchdown there. The Browns kicking team out there now is going to send this one away. Now, 3 series, he's been this is looking for 6. That's that puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the defense. You feel like it's a sudden change, almost like it's a turnover. They're going to go out there and try and stop them. But boy, what a tough spot they're in. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10. That'll be a pickup of 10 as they try and recover from this 10-point deficit. Yeah, that run's successful in large part because they had a lot of extra help blocking up front.
Yeah, you got guys who can do that very, very well. In addition, they can catch the football. So sometimes when they line up the 3 tight ends, it's not necessarily going to and that gives you an advantage when you do this. The line of scrimmage and talk people that don't feel it.
It'll get the keeper and he's shaking on a couple.
Oh man, that wasn't drop from breaking into the secondary. We need to kept him right in there. First down, he did get a nice chunk of yardage. Nice tackle, but for maybe going all the way.
Yeah, but right at the middle. He is it'll go as a loss of a yard and it'll sit on 3rd down.
Sometimes you just think the model of what he can do defensively. Speed, straight quickness, he's the whole package. And the package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
To throw, it's Williams. Watch now and see if the screen is shooting. Score get the 6. Losing a couple of yards here on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down.
I know we saw the pass and the completion, obviously the resulting loss of yardage. To me, that play broke down with the blocking on it. Because if you're going to try and swing it down, that blocking's going to hold up to give you a chance.
The defense, they want 3, you know.
No, they don't. On that one.
Santos kick is up and through. And they get themselves up the board here. It's 10-3. So that kick gives them their first points of the game, CD, and it comes in the 3rd drive. But hopefully for them, that's a spark that gets that offense going.
Yeah, I'm seeing through the offensive play caller as you look at your sheet. You're trying to find that in there that unlocks bigger points. They started with a few drives so far. They got 3 out of it. How do you find the end zone? That's what he's searching for now.
The right field goal signatures. Away. And it's over up to the 26-yard line. The Browns offense and their running back getting ready to go back to work. And he has been a big component of the passing game so far. You see the numbers for this first half. This defense is going to need to find some way to key in on him because he is eating them up right now. The Cleveland offense ready to go. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown. This time, the defense, defense, they would hold the first score beginning at 6 and standing on the field.
It's not just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know it's coordinated game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Once again, on Jenkins. Officially, no game on the play. And I went to the 3rd and 8.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier, but shut him down otherwise.
So that you're exactly right. I would say they've contained him very well. To throw down, here's Sanders.
Well, they came up with points in their first 2 possessions, but it looks like they'll come up empty here on their 3rd drive. The defense finally starting to get locked into them a little bit. Might have to go a little bit deeper into their playbook on their next possession.
4th down, it's Corey Burke has to punt. 46 in his first kick this week in that neighborhood as well. They're 50 yards on the turn. And the Bears take over. And Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. You got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not the balls go through goalposts.
Looking to pull a drive together. Here's Williams. Goes up 2nd down.
And over the down look on defense, too. Mr. Defensive backs on the field are covering up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the drive.
2nd and 10. Throwing is Williams. Throw right 6, we're going to be up to Cleveland. Well, the incompletion, but now we also have an injured player. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. The Bears on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 10. Looking to throw his Williams. That's a great things he should have come up with. Instead, it's 4th down. It's going to be another frustrating end to a drive here. This offense, they're not been able to get anything good on this first time. Now it's going to be tough to get them to sit and try to figure out what's going on. What is it to do? What is the plan? Time to implement it. 57 to go in this first time. 5 in sports. The Browns drive about to get started. As we eat closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time you get convincing, especially if this is going to be your final position in the first half.
And this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides. Sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
Sanders. Appears to be an injured bear on the field. Well, they come out and take a look at him. We will step aside for just a moment. Three tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10. And see the Champions. Just looking at it from the 49 and 50. Well, the lane that Madden opened there was closed pretty quickly, and that's because the defensive front, they won the battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up. Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half.
It's not an easy job to get the catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and off the ball. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have, and a pass he should come.
So a failure to connect on second down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. From the midfield straight, they look to throw. They'll take the shot to the end zone.
Yeah, the run has been working well. The offensive line has been pleased by the process. They catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
Here's Corey Borkes to put this thing away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it alive. He's looking for the chicken. Didn't get it. Let's get the end zone now for a touchback. Bears going to take over now late in his first half. And one trying, there is still enough time on the top. String a few plays together, maybe get the field goal range. From the gun, here's Williams. Now the Browns got to use this circle of their 10 minutes. As they'll stop with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. So after the sack, they'll come up on a still manageable 2nd and 13. Back to throw. He's got some take over at the 13 zone. That part right on hindsight's always 2020, but man, just in general, those laterals, so it can be so risky, and we'll see the risk that can be involved right there.
And you just have to know, and we've seen it because we've been in a lot of practices. It's not something that's practiced very often. You know, in that situation, you don't see guys really working on it. Maybe like we're bringing the rugby guys in to help us with tackling. Maybe we ask them to help us with the laterals as well and make that a better play.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Now the Browns will use the first of their fleets in the minutes. As the clock will step with 33 seconds to go in the first half. First and goal at that party on line. Touchdown pass. Well, that's what it's still. You know, it's Ricky Cubo. We talk a lot about his ball placement and how good he can be at laying it right in there. I think we just saw, Charles, though, the strength of that arm. That was an absolute rifle for the completed touchdown.
It absolutely was. And let's face it, you think he was really ready to get that first touchdown? Absolutely. He took that from the 40 just as he was. Let's face it. This is the best pictures of baseball. The fastball is usually the best pitch, and he saw there.
The Browns kicking team out there now is sending this one away. And they will take it past the 24 to the 28. The Bears going to get one more possession in this first half. It's time quickly fading here in the second quarter. Not sure how aggressive or offensive the right is.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
A little under 30 seconds to go. We'll see how they play it here on first and 10. From the shotgun of Wealthy Williams. Number doing here. The Bears will use their foot and foul time. So still with a couple 23 seconds to go to halftime. The big play to start him out. Has him at the 45 already. Looking to throw. Williams. So this will be blown down, and it'll come back to the spot of the fumble. So halftime was a bonus on Thursday night prime time, and we go off to Orlando. And Scott Hansen for our halftime report. All right, Brandon, thanks much. Welcome in, everyone, to the Orlando studios. Scott Hansen with you for a quick halftime report. We'll let both sides catch their breath and get their orange wedges as we're going to get ready for the third quarter action. So let's go back out to the stadium as we rejoin our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis. All right, Scott, thanks very much. Welcome everybody back to EA Sports for quarter number 3. "17-3 the score as we resume action for the second half on EA Sports. Takes us nearly 25, just a little bit here, call it to 26. The Bears offense set to go to begin the third quarter. And they trail here to begin the second half. It's going to be a key for them to get back in the game.
I think they're right there, and I think this game is still up for the taking for them because those are the turnovers. They had 2 of them in the first half, but one still to if you have 3, 4, or 5. You know, it's beyond difficult to try in a football game of that. Just have to be eliminated. It's a first of all, should be season. Give him football to carry that on second down. This time to get him a step close, but that's to mention, they got to pick up the urgency here. They got to get quickly in the hole. I might have to bunch my tails. Right back to shoot the gun. Yes, it's up for close to 35 before he's up. Stippling yards there on a first down. Despite the score, despite the deficit, no point in this guy. He's running angry, running to him. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Back to throw. Williams. It's still voting. The game of football. Second down. Waiting for the game. Williams. That's what they're doing. Now the extra point. So not only the pickup on the other side, the scoop the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. So the top of I kind of feel like they've reached a really difficult thing in this game. So I said, they're going to put off an aggressive comedy. It has to start right here, right now. Chance to get out of this situation, but I also understand they got to move the ball and move their points. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions. But I'm still looking to see it. This is a game of fun as he gets it to the 30. That run game contained again in terms of it's really good reason that they're trying to really do. And you know, because of defensive that's exactly what they were to try to make them run the next game. And the big players, that was his big superior. Williams hit the so another incompletion here. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is now winning for you. So I'm sure you give a little bit of credit to the defense. Give him a lot to think about. A lot of different routes. He seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes. Williams from the gun, third down. Well, for the middle of the field, it's complete. First stop. All the time about playing situational football right now. I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Whatever in this game, they got to push the ball down the field, take their shots.
trying to get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. It's a nice throw there. First down, drop the 12. For Clemson's battery, it's incomplete. The Saints have been coming out of all game long. And frankly, so has they found a solution yet to create more time for them to throw it, or maybe change what they do on defense.
And that's one of the biggest differences in this game and why they're losing right now. Okay, what's left to throw? And this time, he's going. I think we're going to see these couple lanes and think different.
That's not something that the defender makes that close quickly. That's the incompletion.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion. He's going to come up on third down. Yes, they put a passing yard. It's against the floor. Always look at the it's not getting hit to the American. If you have the available on third and 10, it tells that they don't make a choice to make here. Because rather than the to have gotten and say, here comes the choice. Do they kick it in, or do they trust him to make another big play? Hopefully get a first down. Still just the third quarter, but they've got to make something happen. I think they know that they're going through fourth. Able to convert. And there's a turnover downs. And defensively, they were ready for that. A full-on blitz on fourth down, and they stopped them short of the marker.
Someone's got to feel really good about that. That's the defensive coordinator. He dialed up a great run blitz defense, and they hit it just right. Stack that thing up. They're going to feel awesome going to the bench after that big play.
Looking to put a drive together. It's Jenkins to stick with the turnover. That's straight and the yards. He's across midfield and down to the 49. 62 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times. Yeah, we often give credit to the O-line there. Two tight end formation. Those tight ends block pretty well also.
Yeah, that's one of the most dynamic positions in football now. The tight ends who can block at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack. They can also get downfield and touch the football.
Speaking of teams, he takes us deep out of the 37. 15 yards to pick up there. Go from Cleveland first. Consecutive plays now where that offensive line has really created a lot of space.
And we've seen the confidence rise, haven't we? It borders on arrogance. That's that good arrogance. Believing you can run the football.
For his second sack of the evening.
It is 2020, maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they put up a hole and the quarterback got set. Looking for Spanish. Was they stepping short of the today?
Well, that play seemed well scouted defensively. They collapsed everything inside. Nowhere to go on the quarterback sneak. Now it's going to bring up fourth down.
The offense here not budging. They're going to fight for it on 4th and inches. That's not a sneaker here. It's 26. They only had a few inches, and they didn't get much more than that. But by about the width of a shoelace, they can put fourth down. So this offense able to convert on fourth, and now a fresh set of downs here, 1st and 10. And the tight end goes in motion left. Again, Jenkins. To get a 2nd and 8 coming again.
They bring us back right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they found the single start to try to pound with the submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. Ball at the 23, 2nd and 8. Let's see the goal with Jenkins. Yeah, lots of praise on this drive. I said, no, you're seeing what I'm saying. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what plays, they are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Joe Trial should make it in pursuit that time, and he gets the tackle for loss.
That's a take note of there for the defense. I think in the future, if you're going to try and block him, maybe get a guard to help double team him and try and steer him out of the play. They should have done it on that snap. And here he pulls it down, takes it himself, and takes it into the end zone.
Extra point to follow here. Still leading to 28. Tipping play goal that time. It was kicked off by a 12-yard touchdown run. The Browns kicking team out there now is sending this one away. To about the 26-yard, just across the 24. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And really, Charles, not much of a surprise that they're using. They just haven't been able to get much of anything going in the passing game. And you don't know in today's NFL, if the passing game isn't working, usually not much else is working either.
Exactly right about that part. I know that right now, the easy answer would be, what's wrong with football? That might not be everything you need. So despite the struggle throwing it, they've got to find some type of a play. Multiple plays that gets the ball in the air and allow for them to have some success.
And we're back now here in Cleveland. One play has enough pass to 40 already. Another 1st and 10. To throw, Williams. To the left side with the hands of the defensive. Options galore here. 2nd and a few inches. Look at the Williams. His hands are but rookie making a little bit of a rookie mistake. 3rd down. The Bears on third down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. They're looking at third and a few inches. He's going to sneak it.
No, there will be a variety of surprise. 30 inches and another 4 minutes. Still, this is a play that is reserved for fourth down.
Well, what is more? This 14 from the Chicago first off. Not too shabby for his first carry of the game. That's exactly what most teams are looking for. A really good change of pace back. So they're up first and 10 now from the 33. It's a nice place, 12 yards down to the first down. But this game was decided a while ago. That completion there is going to picture and flow those passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract. First not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you get them with them, get them coming up for some points. Second down and 6 now. Williams. Get this down outside of 15, either 13 or 14 defenders out of bounds. I'll give him 4 yards there. And it makes it 30 and 2 yards to go. He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential. But when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of work. No points in the goal, and you have another completion to the total number of force in this runaway contest. They're going to try and keep hope alive here. They're going for it. Here's Williams. It's no reason not to try it there. They do indeed convert on fourth. Falcon pound to go for it there on fourth down, trailing in the field. And get them down. And this fourth down call doesn't matter the distance. Stop to get it done as you noted, and they did. It was short. So they'll get 6 on the ground. It'll be second and goal. This game runs right there on first and goal. That gets him down to the field. That's a little more pressure on the defense. So they've got a red zone 3 times, and it's yielded just 3 points. Can they find the end zone here on second and goal? Yeah, Caleb Williams taking over. And the Bears are finally into the end zone here in this fourth quarter. I have to say that for him, that was an all-encompassing drive because it was his arm to get his team down to that point. But as he finished the deal, give him credit for making it happen. Carlos Santos on to try the extra point. That one in the books as a 12-play drive. And it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. So still lots to do, but it comes in on The risk when you don't get it, the risk comes into play, and here they gave up great field position.
And that's the key to everything because you're trying your best to press advantages when you have them. And field position leads you to that type of play calling. And whether you want to blitz or whether you want to throw the ball deep, those types of things, now that they've given up that type of field position, the advantage is switched to their opponent.
First and Jenkins. This defense trying to buckle down when they need to. Right now, they're winning this fourth quarter, losing the game, but they're winning in the fourth quarter.
And what a fine line it is about what they're trying to get done because they're down, so they obviously need the football, need a score, but they can't be so aggressive.
He's going to take this down to a first down at about the Bears 30. He's on the ground for him now as he is getting better really as the night's going on. The offense on third down tonight, they've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. Here it's 3rd and 2. First down, I see the close first and 3, and they use this late in the game, Charles. You maybe seriously have to think about going for it,
especially in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of a law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out.
So on 4th down, Kevin Stefanski trots out the field goal unit. From the left hash, it's an even 15-2. And this kid, he did this. Even further. Baltimore not really sure if they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pound that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
Sitting down to kick this one away, and off it goes. And something up to 26. They should go fast to get started. Okay, so this point, so we get out 2 scores late in the fourth quarter. This is going to be only 2 much scores will come with that. Snell and Buddy Young, we said right now because one team is clearly better than the other in this one, and what didn't quite reach blood status, we knew he was going to win this one well before we get to this stage. To the air, Williams. The offense, the Ravens of the division. Let's go play the first to their 10 minutes. That's a tough things over. Pray for this upcoming second down play. You get the big lead defensively. Lord, to give them the neat stuff from them. This is what you work on your tech club. Something not to the catch. Inbounds, keep it running. Just roll and bleed the game out there. Here now, 2nd and 4. You have to be Williams. What's it? No, showing that it's incomplete. They were so protected with his zone coverage, but somehow they failed to see him because that receiver all alone by rights, that should have been a touchdown, but somehow this ball's overthrown. Looking at the young Williams. the first slap to the ground. Third down, and that's another play. This game, the coach of this game, has no Browns who continue on field big turnovers and stops for one side, and an inability to advance the ground from the other. Fourth down, those Williams. He has a big game before Browns games. Go for it, fourth down, and a base zone as they pick up 29. Bears first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. To throw again. He's going to use the second timeouts. So things over prior to this upcoming second down play. One thing I think it's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good. And because of it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're getting the benefits of run after catch. A tackle on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it. Second down and 4. To throw once more, here's Williams. And the first down is he's going to be tackled at the Browns 21. So he's in the chairs. Those are the types of plays they probably wish they would made more of in the first 3 quarters. This deficit going to be tough to overcome here in the fourth. But a nice first down and a pickup on that field. This is real as coaches. We look at the execution, even though the score wasn't as good against you. Who's going to spread? Who's going to put their heads down and continue to play? A small bit of adversity here on what's been a strong drive as they come up 2nd and 12. To throw, it's Williams. I'm not trying to be simple this time as succinct. It simply has not been their night. No, I think that fumble's kind of indicative of how this whole evening's going, isn't it? Without a doubt. I mean, they've tried, but nothing has ever really taken throughout the game. That's why they're down so big. Heading out as a Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. Well, CD, this is the ideal situation in the fourth quarter. You come out here late, not much time on the clock with a comfortable lead and put the final nail in the coffin. Yeah, this offense, all game long, they've been powerful. They've been dangerous. You're exactly right. They can end this one on their own terms. The Browns take the lead. So Cleveland gets the victory here. And we talked so much about the turnover battle, determining who wins, who loses. This game, no exception. Air-free football, no turnovers at all, and they win it. So this is one you don't have to convince your team that what you're saying is accurate. And you know what I'm talking about. Head coach always stands up in front of the team and says, guys, if we do this, and this, we'll win. Usually they say if we win the turnover battle, we'll win. Well, here's the proof right there. Win the turnover battle, go on to victory. Now the guy believe you move on to the next lesson where you have to convince them it's now planted. So, Charles Davis, working men and women. And going, you've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. It's a so they're happy to go. We say so long, Cleveland.